Dear students, welcome to the class of vector algebra. Today I am discussing about the concept components of a vector. So what are the components of the given vector? We will study here in this video. So for the purpose, let us consider a right-handed rectangular coordinate system having the coordinate axis as x, y and z. This is the origin. This is suppose x-axis, this is y-axis and this is z-axis. Okay. Now let us take 3 points on these coordinate axes at a distance of 1 unit from the origin. So let this point A be at a distance of 1 unit from the origin. Similarly, let us consider another point B that is at a distance of 1 unit from origin. In the same way, we can take another point C that is at a distance of 1 unit from the origin. Okay. So here you see that there are 3 points at distances 1 unit at a distance of 1 unit from origin. This is the point 0, 0, 0. Okay, means length of OA vector is 1, OB vector length is also 1 and OC vector its length is also 1. Clear? Now this OA vector, clear? OA vector is having the magnitude as 1 unit. It means we can say that OA vector is a unit vector in the direction of x-axis. And we can represent it as I cap. Means we can write OA vector as I cap. Means this is the vector OA vector that is having the length as 1 unit. So it is the unit vector along the x-axis. Similarly, unit vector along the y-axis is j cap. This is I cap and it is j cap. The same way, the unit vector along the z-axis, that is here OC vector, that is the unit vector. So we can write it as k cap. So here we learned that we have taken the 3 points A, B, C on the axis x, y and z at a distance of 1 unit from the origin. Means the magnitude of OA, OB and OC, all the 3 magnitudes are same. And OA vector is the vector that is having the magnitude as 1 unit. Means OA vector will be I cap. I cap is the unit vector in the direction of x-axis. The same way j cap and k cap are the unit vectors along the y-axis and z-axis. Now we will consider a point P in the space that is having a coordinate x, y, z. Okay, let's suppose there is a point P in the space having the coordinates x, y and z. It means if we draw the perpendicular from that point P to the respective axis, okay, then the distances covered along the x, y and z axis will be x, y and z. How? Let me explain. There is somewhere point P in the space having the coordinate x, y and z. Then x will be the distance covered along this x axis. Means suppose you get a point here as D. Okay. Now for that point P that is in the space having the coordinate x, y, z. So y, small y will be the distance that will be covered on the y axis. So let the distance y is this much from the origin. And suppose it be the point A, B, C, D. It is the point E. Now the same way we can consider a point F that is at a distance of Z unit. Okay, this will be the distance covered along the Z axis when we will draw the perpendicular from that point P, that is in the space having the coordinate x, y and z. Okay, now we can locate the point P, x, y, z, where it will be. This is the distance x, this is the distance y, this is the distance z. So draw a line parallel to OE from this point F. So this is this. Now draw this line parallel to OF, and now draw a line parallel to OD passing through this F, that is this. Now draw the perpendicular here like this. Okay, so this way we can make a figure of cuboid. Okay, so this is the point P that is in the space that we have considered already. It is the point P, x, y, z. Although we can take, we could take the point P, x, y, z first, and then we could complete the figure. But I want to explain it in the another way. That if you consider a point P in the space having the coordinates x, y, z, then small x will be the distance covered along the x-axis this way. So this distance will be x if we draw the perpendicular from that point P to x-axis. The same way, this distance OE will be the bi, and distance OF will be z. So this will be the point P space. You clearly see the location of this point P, x, y, z that was considered earlier. Okay, now we want to get the value, the component form of a vector OP vector. Here P is the point. Here P is the point having coordinate x, y, z, and OP vector, and it is also represented as R vector. It is the position vector of the point P with respect to origin O. So we want to get the vector OP vector in the component form. Okay, now let's consider this point DEF, and it is G, H, I. Now our motto is to get the value of R vector that is in the space, you see, OP vector. So for this purpose, let's join OG. In this triangle ODG, you see, in triangle ODG, what do we see? This is the I cap is the unit vector. Then what will be the value of OD vector? I cap is the unit vector along the x-axis, and the length of OD is small x. Means OD vector is a vector that's value must be x I cap. OD vector equal to x I cap. It should be clear, because I cap is the unit vector along the x-axis and x is the length OD. So this length will be multiplied to the unit vector, then you will get the OD vector. The same way we can get OE vector. OE vector equal to y j cap, and OF vector equal to z k cap. So this way we have the vectors OD, OE and OF, because I cap, j cap and k cap are the unit vectors and small x, y, z are the lengths. So these lengths will be multiplied by the unit vector to get the vectors OD, OE and OF. It must be clear. Now in triangle ODG, what do you see? If we want to get the vector OG, then by triangle law, OG vector must be equal to OD vector plus DG vector. You see, OD vector is xi cap, and DG vector, this is parallel to OE vector, and also it is equal to the magnitude of this vector OE vector. So it is also by j cap. So this way we will have the vector OG vector as xi cap plus y j cap. But we need to get the value of OP vector. So here now we will consider in triangle OPG. OP vector equal to OG vector plus GP vector, and OG vector we get its value above as xi cap plus yj cap. Now what is GP vector? You see in the figure, this GP vector is parallel to OF vector and also it is equal in magnitude. It means it is also ZK vector. OF vector means ZK vector. So it is ZK cap. So OF vector, that is ZK cap. So we have finally OP vector equal to xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap, and it is OP vector is actually R vector. So we have written here R vector equal to xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. This is called the component form of a vector. Here we see that xi cap is a vector quantity, yj and zk are also vector quantities, and xi cap is called here the vector component of vector R, and yj is also the vector component and zk is also the vector components of the vector R. So the vector components of the vector R are xi cap and yk cap and zk cap. Here we see that x, y, z are the scalars. So the scalar components are called x, y and z. So here x, y, z are the scalar components of the vector. Now let's try to get the magnitude of this vector OP vector. So OP vector is written as R vector here. So magnitude of R vector is suppose R. Then we want to get the value of the magnitude R. What would be the length of this OP vector? Clear? So just see in this triangle ODG, once again this angle is 90 degree. Although it doesn't seem that it is 90 degree, but three-dimensionally you have to think that this angle must be 90 degree. Okay, this is OD is perpendicular to DG. So in this right triangle ODG, OG is the hypotenuse. This is the length x and this is the length y. Okay, y unit is this length and this is length x unit. So this OG magnitude must be equal to root x square plus y square using the Pythagoras relation. Clear? So OG equal to root x square plus y square. Now again see in this triangle OGP, what do you see? In triangle OGP, this angle is 90 degree. Okay, so here in triangle OGP we will have OP equal to OG square plus GP square. Clear? So OG square means x square plus y square. Make a square of this OG magnitude. So we will have x square plus y square. And what about the GP? GP is having the length z unit. Okay, this is the length z unit. So GP square means z square. So this way we will have the magnitude of OP vector as square root of x square plus y square plus z square. So this way we can get the magnitude of the vector OP. Now we will discuss some properties that are related to the components of a vector. So let's see now. Let's consider the two vectors A vector and B vector, and we write it in the component forms. So A vector is written as A1 cap plus A2 cap plus A3 cap, and B vector is B1 cap B2 cap plus B3 cap. Here A1, A2 and A3 are the scalar components of vector A along the x, y and z axis. The same way B1, B2, B3 are the scalar components of vector B, okay, in the direction of x axis, y axis and z axis. So now suppose we want to get the sum of these two vectors, then the scalar components will be added. A2 plus B2 cap plus A3 plus B3 cap. The second point, we want to get the difference of these two vectors, then a1 minus b1 I cap plus a2 minus b2 j cap plus a3 minus b3 k cap. We will get these vectors. Now let's consider, suppose there are two vectors a vector and b vector that are given to be equal, means a vector equal to b vector. That is possible only if a1 equal to b1, a2 equal to b2 and a3 equal to b3. Means the two vectors are equal, then we will have the results a1 equal to b1, a2 equal to b2, a3 equal to b3. Or in case when a1 equal to b1, a2 equal to b2 and a3 equal to b3, then we can say that the vectors are equal. Okay, it is the meaning of IFF, if and only if, means the results hold from both the sides. Now the fourth property, if suppose lambda is any scalar and we multiply the given vector by this scalar lambda, then this lambda will be multiplied to the scalar components of the vector A, means lambda a1 I cap plus lambda a2 j cap plus lambda a3 k cap. So this is the fourth property. Okay, now let's discuss some distribution property related to this component, distribution property. Okay, so now suppose there are two scalars lambda and mu. So for the first property, suppose we want to write lambda a vector plus lambda b vector, then lambda may be taken common. Okay, lambda a vector plus lambda b vector, then lambda may be taken common, and this will be the result. Now the second case, if there are two scalars lambda and mu, so lambda a vector plus mu a vector is there, then the a vector may be taken common and you will have this relation lambda plus mu a cap. Clear? This is the distribution property. Another property you should remember, the lambda mu a vector, means lambda scalar is multiplied to the mu a vector, then these two scalars lambda and mu can be multiplied and then the a vector may be taken. Okay, so these were the properties you should remember in the case of the components of a vector. So in the next video I will come with the next concept, that is the vector joining the 2 points in the space. How to get a vector that joins the 2 points given in the space. So till then, keep on watching my videos. Okay.